You know I create comics, you know I love comics, but there hasn't really been anything to get me super excited about the comic book industry in a long time. Well, that's all about to change. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, alien zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And we also do a lot of talking about comics because I am an independent comic book creator. And if you know a little bit about my background, you know that although I create comics, I don't collect a lot of comics, not modern comics and everything. I was huge, well, I still am a huge comic book fan, but just growing up in the 80s and everything, and going into comic book shops and buying stuff off the Spinnerex and all that stuff, I don't know, things have kind of changed. I mean, things evolved, and that's cool, but there's something that's kind of come along that's kind of taken me back to kind of when I was a kid, and it's got me real hyped, real psyched, real stoked to start looking at and collecting comic books again. So what, you may ask, has got me so stoked about collecting and reading and discovering comic books again? Well, my friend Marshall Lee, who, maybe you know him because I just did a collab with him with the Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday and everything. He's been talking about this company called Alterna Comics. And everything he's been saying about this, first up, because when I'm watching videos and stuff, I'm just kind of drawing and working on my comic and stuff, and then it's starting to, click all this stuff he's talking about, this comic book company, and I'm going, man, this really sounds like it's right up my alley. So, quickly after he's kind of explaining all this, and I may be a little late to the game on this, maybe a lot of other people have already discovered, well, I know a lot of other people have already discovered Alterna Comics, but it's kind of new to me, because like I said, I've been out of the game, man. I go into comic book stores and I just don't have any idea. It's like a foreign land to me. I mean, I don't know what to pick up, and I'll pick up things here and there, and but I just kind of feel out of place. So when he's starting to, Marshall's talking about Alterna Comics, and I'm getting super excited. So quickly, I did some research, and the owner of the company, Peterson Mitty, has a YouTube channel, and I start watching all his videos and all the stuff he's talking about comics, and the way they're doing comics is just like, this is what I want. So yeah, thank you for Marshall for bringing this to my attention. So quickly, I went out and I went to their Etsy store, and I purchased all the #1 issues, and immediately, right after I purchased them, I'm kind of like, you know what, I should have just bought their whole catalog. But there's a little bit more of a plan to that, because one of the things in watching these videos that Peter puts out on his channel, he's really heavy on promoting independent comic book shops, and because really that's what's going to keep this thing alive. And I'm fearful that it won't be kept alive, but in listening to Peter and the things that he's talking about, if anything is going to give a boost to this industry, it's kind of what he's doing, and I hope that other people kind of follow suit and everything. So what is it? What makes Alterna Comics so I hesitate to say revolutionary, because it's really something that's been done before in the past, back in the 80s and 90s, and all the way back to golden age of comic books. But I think somewhere along the way we lost our way, or comic book publishers lost their way. I really think the comic book industry needs something to kind of come in and kind of shake things up, and the big two, Marvel and DC, they're trying things, but I don't know, just rebooting and starting over again with #1s and all this stuff. But I mean, how many times are you going to do that before just people there's just so many gimmicks and everything. And what Alterna's doing, some people maybe could look at it as a gimmick. I don't. I don't at all. I think it's just going back to basics and really doing some tried and true methods and bringing those back, because they worked in the past. I really do think they can work again. And if you don't have any idea, if you know about Alterna Comics, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm going to get to it soon enough. But I just think, like I said, I think the comic book industry needs something new, because it's kind of the same old, and to me it's kind of analogous to like movie posters. If you grew up like me in the 80s, you remember like Drew Struzan and Hildebrand Brothers, I mean, just amazing movie posters. And if you look at the movie posters today, they're garbage. It's all just photoshopped. I mean, if you look at like, I hesitate to say this because I don't want to call any artists out, but poster artists, but look at the new Avengers Infinity War poster. I saw that poster, I just got so upset because first of all, I mean, if they would have at least like rendered it or, you know, illustrated it instead of just, you know, Photoshop the whole thing. But the thing is, all the characters have their masks off. I mean, even Spider-Man. I mean, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I'm going on a little diatribe here, but I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's great and everything, but he's not what sells Spider-Man. Spider-Man sells Spider-Man. And you don't put Spider-Man on a movie poster without his costume on, without his mask on. And that's the same way with Captain America, you know, Iron Man. I mean, you can argue, you know, of course, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and all that, but anyway, so, and the reason why I'm bringing this up and the reason why it relates to what I think comic books needs is because it took a company to come along like, and just totally change that industry and offer something that wasn't being offered before. And I'm talking about Mondo. If you're not familiar with Mondo posters, so they noticed that these movie posters nowadays are pretty much garbage. And so why not just get some artists to do some really awesome movie posters and license this stuff and put it out there? And just do it. If you're not familiar with Mondo movie posters, just do a Google search and you'll see how awesome these posters are. And these are the things that should be on the marquee, not the garbage that they have out there. Now maybe there's marketing and everything that tells people that, oh, people want to see photographs of the people's faces. I don't care. I want to see awesome art. I want to see things that's intriguing, that makes me want to go see the movie, just like when I was a kid. So, but that's what comic books needs, and that's, I think, what Alterna is doing right now, is something different. I think they're seeing a gap in this industry, something that needs to be done differently. And like I said, kind of go back to basics. So without any further ado, so I already kind of sort of unboxed this already, but I've got this is the bag that I got from Alterna Comics from their Etsy store. Now the other thing, like I think I alluded to this before, but Peter, the owner of the company, and he's the publisher, he's the promoter, he does everything. It's just amazing what he's doing. And I will put a link to the YouTube channel and his YouTube channel and all that stuff in the description, and where you can get these if you can't find them at your local comic book store. And I just kind of wanted to get an introduction. That's why I didn't buy the whole set. And that's one of the things I'm getting at. I could buy the whole set because it's so affordable, and that's one of the cool things that they're doing. But anyway, you know, I urge you, and I think Peterson Mitty, who owns the company Alterna and everything, he's the publisher. He is really big on getting people into the comic book stores, and I think that's super important. So that's why I just got the #1 issues, and I want to go to a new comic book store just opened like a couple miles from my house. And there has been no comic book stores in the city that I live in. So that's super exciting, but I haven't been there yet, and that's going to give me an excuse to go in there, and hopefully they sell them. If they don't, I'm going to tell them to pick some up. So what is the big deal about Alterna Comics, and why are they sort of going back to basics? Well, they're doing everything on newsprint. They're printing everything on newsprint, like in the old days, like the stuff I used to love. And somewhere along the line, you know, printing got better, and, you know, I guess people changed the paper stock, and that's all cool. I mean, the quality of the comics look great today, but the price is just, it's like cost prohibitive for people to start getting into collecting. And I think what Alterna's doing with the newsprint and bringing the price down, because I'm just going to pull one of these out. I'm gonna kind of go through all these more or less, but so Amazing Age, and this is kind of a good example because it definitely looks like retro, like golden, silver, or Silver Age rather. And I'll show you some of the books and everything, but the graphic design looks great and everything. But look at this. This is here, the cover price, $1.50. Can you believe that? When most comics nowadays are like $4. And when you go in a comic book store, you have to make a decision, like, what am I going to drop my money on? This is going to be pricey. But you could literally go in and buy almost everything that Alterna puts out, assuming that your local comic book company carries them, and and you're going to have a ton of comics. And that's the beauty of printing on newsprint. And I can smell that newsprint. It's so awesome. Just to, you know, I mean, this is I don't know how well this is doing it justice and everything, but it's all printed on newsprint, keeping that price down, and I mean, it's just super awesome. So the cool thing about this this $1.50 price point is that it's basically, the way I guess it was calculated is this is what comics would actually be just with inflation, from where they used to be before everything switched over to the higher quality paper and all the other, you know, what makes $4 comics, you know, so expensive. So I mean, this is the thing is, I mean, when I was collecting comics, I would go into, like, I discovered comics for the first time by just going into a 7-Eleven, and they had a spinner rack there, and I just, oh man, these are cool, and it's affordable. Something that a kid can get into. A kid it's hard for a kid to collect comic books, or just like a point of purchase, like, oh, I gotta have this type thing, when they're selling for like $4 a pop. But at this price, I mean, and that's the thing, is not only are they in comic book stores, but they're also, you know, Peter's getting them into, you know, like newsstands, and he talked about, at one point he had them in like Toys R Us and everything. Of course, Toys R Us isn't, sad to say, it's not really a thing anymore, but he's still reaching out to like other places, and I think one of the episodes he was talking about getting them into Dollar Tree. And to me, that is just so forward thinking, because I mean, I see, you know, I go to the Dollar Tree or the $1.99 store and all that stuff. There's kids in there, and they're buying all these chintzy toys and everything. But man, if they had comics there, I mean, it's just a place where you wouldn't expect to find them, and that's where you need to go, because anyone that's going to go to a comic book store already knows about comics. And I don't know why a company like Marvel or DC isn't doing something like this, trying to get new people into, you know, kids or new readers into collecting comics. Because I mean, they've got an advantage. They already know the characters and everything. I mean, if you were to see a Spider-Man comic, a new one on like a newsstand or somewhere for $1.50, best believe that people are going to pick that up. So I mean, and I could just see, you know, kids going in the 99-cent store and picking those up. Of course, I guess he would have to drop the price from $1.50 to 99 cents, but you know, with ads, if you can get enough ads and things, and if you get a big enough distribution, I think you can do that. And I mean, because face it, Mike, the old people like me, we're dying off, and if we don't get new people into buying comics, and it's not because they're not interested in comics, I think a lot of it is just that price point. So anyway, I want to kind of show you what I got here. So, all right, so first of all, I got a little thank you thing, and it's saying, you know, take a picture or post a video, which I'm doing right now, so that's cool. I got a little sticker from the comic book I just showed you, Amazing Age, and Peter's business card here. But let's kind of go through the comics real quick. I'll show you what I got. You know, again, this big stack was around maybe $25, I think. And just think how many comics I would have got with, you know, having to pay that $4 price point. So, and the other cool thing is, it's the titles are diverse. I mean, there's some, you know, and right down here, another thing that it says, you know, they've got, you know, whether it's for mature readers, and then they even list the genre. Like this one says supernatural horror. So there's stuff for all ages, there's stuff for teens, there's stuff for, you know, mature readers or whatever. And when I say all ages, it doesn't mean it's just for kids. I mean, it's stuff that kids can read, but adults will like it too. Same thing with, I think, with the teens, because like I think my book, Young and the Dead, I think I would probably maybe rate that as a teen book, even though it's kind of based on like Goonies and you know, stuff like that I used to watch when I was a kid, at a much younger age than when I was a teen. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, so we got a kind of like a horror title here. I don't know if that's the 12 or the XII, and I'll kind of go through Zero Jumper. And you can look, I mean, these look like anything, you know, just as good as anything you would see on the shelves. Look at the covers and everything. And so this is sort of more all ages. Another, I think that looks like it's probably more all ages. So this one says, you know, action. And I've listened to a lot of the creators on the Alterna YouTube channel, Mother Russia, and you know, some of them are black and white, some of them are color. I hear a lot of good things about this particular one. You know, this, I don't know if that's a zombie, maybe it's not zombies, I don't know. But, you know, I can't really say much about that because I kind of do a zombie apocalypse. But I don't know if this is like more of a mystery, horror, it says. This is actually the one by Peterson Mitty, the owner of the company. And all of the other cool thing is they're all creator-owned projects. The creators get, you know, they profit from these, which, I mean, it's like this company's everything I would want in a comic book company, you know? it's crazy. So, you know, creator-owned. Most of them are all miniseries, which I think, to me, is the way to go, even for a company like Marvel or DC, because they keep rebooting all this stuff. If you would just, whenever there's a story arc, if you would just have Spider-Man and whatever the name of the story arc, issue 1 through 6, you know, a limited series, then the next, then it's smaller chunks. And I think if Marvel was to do something like this, and then, you know, you could even do a 2 numbering system if they want, you know, put number 1 of this particular, you know, story arc, and then, you know, and then you could have Spider-Man, whatever they're up to, I don't know, what are they up to, like 700? I have no idea. Well, now they're up to 1, I guess, because they're rebooting. But anyway, but yeah, they're all limited series, which I really like, because it's hard for me to just pick up a comic book at issue like 480 something or whatever like that. So I like the miniseries thing. You know, like I said, diverse genres. Now all of these are creator owned, so there's no, you know, interconnecting universe, which I know a lot of people are big on that. I think it's kind of cool. You know, it's kind of cool with Marvel and the movies and all that kind of stuff. I like how they're all connected, but I don't really care to have to read every single thing or know every single thing. So I'm not huge on the, you know, the universe and everything. So anyway, you know, got horror titles. This looks more like an all ages, another all ages, and then the one that I showed you here. So I want to just kind of delve into, you know, so this one, Scrimshaw, I guess this is sort of a big world building type story, but I'm going to show you just some of the, I mean, the art, very unique art style, and that's what I've kind of known just kind of going through most of these comic books is, you know, some of them look like indie comics, some of them look just as good as you would find on the shelf of, like I said, of, you know, with Marvel or DC or any of the other companies. This one, I kind of like the artwork on this one. But you can see, so it's printed on newsprint, but I mean, why not? why aren't other companies doing this? If Marvel was to do this, now I don't have any delusions that Marvel or DC is going, or they're going to just scrap everything and start up with all newsprint. But why not start a newsprint line and gear that towards getting new readers and get those everywhere? You know, Marvel has the ability to get them in all the supermarkets and all that kind of stuff. Why not do that? Why not create a separate line, get you know, new readers into, and not just kids. I'm talking about people that are maybe a little younger than me that just had no idea, you know, that even comic books are around. If they were to see those, like, oh man, I remember comics, I might pick this up. That's what we need. We need new readers and things like that. So, but anyway, so I kind of dig, you know, I like the art style in this, and it's all different. I mean, it's, like I said, very diverse, very different. I haven't read any of these yet, so I can't speak to that, but from what I hear, there's some really cool stuff, and I can't wait to start reading these. So the titles are all very different, very unique. So this one here, I don't know if it's the 12 or the XII. You know, some of them are black and white, some are color, some of them are sort of monotone. And if you know, I'm a real big fan of sort of that monotone, you know, limited palette look. Look at the quality of this. I mean, it looks great, even on newsprint. And, you know, I understand, you know, the cool thing about this is at $1.50, I can collect all these books, and if I decide, yeah, maybe I want to see this book in a premium, you know, a premium format, that's the great thing about because Alterna is also putting out, you know, like trades of these. And the thing is, and with the trades they're doing it on, you know, on the more premium stock and everything. But here's the problem with modern comics. You pay $4 for a comic book, and if you were to collect, say, so if you're paying $4 for a comic book, say the collected storyline is 6 issues, that's what, like $24? Now, the trade sells for what, maybe $10, maybe $12? Why not just wait for the trade? Now, if you're buying comics for $1.50, a six issue is going to be what, like $9? If the trade's 10 or 12, then you know you're apt to go buy these. And then if you decide you want the trade too, or you want something that's, you know, a little less, I hesitate to say disposable, but to me, that's what I like about comics. You know, I think comics should be sort of disposable in a way. I mean, definitely you want to hang on to them and keep them if you want, but that collector mentality of as soon as you get it, you put it in the bag and the board and put it away. These new comics aren't going to be worth anything because everyone knows that and everyone's taken care of. If people treat them a little worse, then maybe that collector thing will come back as well. So, oh man, I got mail. So if you, this is all over the place. But if you aren't familiar with our mail delivery system, the Vaculux, it's how we get our mail here in the underground lair. So let's see what we got here. I got a package, another package here. Let's see what this is. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, cool, I forgot I ordered this. So, Silly Putty. Now, if you don't know what this is and how it relates to comics, you will soon find out. So I'm gonna get a comic book out here. Let's get this Amazing Age comic right here. We got our Silly Putty. Now, this is the other cool thing about newsprints that we haven't had in a long time. And I don't think I've opened a Silly Putty in a long time. But the cool thing about newsprint, I'm gonna see how this works. I guess you have to flatten it out real quick. And, you know, they did this on the Alterna channel, and I wanna see how it works for myself. So, I'm gonna take this guy here. See this superhero guy? I'm gonna put that down, I'm gonna press it down on here. And this is just a little fun thing. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. But the image, you transfer right on there. I can see the guy, you can sort of see the type and everything. But that's something we used to do way back in the days. And I remember on the pack, it shows all the uses of Silly Putty, you know, the bouncy ball, you can stretch it, you can pull it apart and put it back together. But I remember they used to show, you know, the whole comic book thing like that, but they don't show it anymore because there's not a lot of, you know, there just isn't a lot of newsprint comics. And but now there is, and I am super stoked about it, and I can't wait to start reading these. I would urge you guys to check out your local comic book store. If they don't carry them, ask that they carry them, and if you know, if they don't, still you can go on Alterna's Etsy shop and pick up some. And I mean, to me this is the biggest thing in comics in just a long time, and I'm super stoked, and everything that Peterson Mitty is doing with his company and everything. I just want this to succeed, and it sounds like it is, because, and this isn't a new company from what I understand. They've been around for like 12 years, I think, and I think it's been like maybe a little under 2 years or a year since they've been, you know, transitioning to this new newsprint model, and I guess their readership is up like 700%. So it looks like it's going places, and I hope that other comic book companies, especially independents, kind of take a lead from this. I mean, I would love to do mine, my book, as in newsprint. I think it's perfect for that. I just don't like that glossiness. Yeah, I'm doing some reprints, and I'm going to put them on more of a matte stock. But still, I don't know that I can do newsprint as of yet, because I think that's going to require offset printing. And right now, I'm just doing, you know, what do they call it? What do they call it? Direct, or I forgot what the term was for print on demand. So right now I'm still doing print on demand, but yeah, it would be cool. I'd love to see mine in newsprint because I love that smell. I love the feel of it, the texture of it, and it just brings me back to the stuff I loved when I was a kid. So follow Alterna Comics, link in the description. If you can't find them at your local comic book store, go to their website, buy a whole bunch of comics, and man, I'm just super excited, and it's getting me rejuvenated excited about getting back to work on my own comics and all that cool stuff. So this one kind of went along a little bit longer because I am, just like I said, I'm super stoked. But yeah, here it is, folks. all these comics, all brand new comics, all different creators, all wonderful new worlds to discover, and all this for under $25. So check them out.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the Art Lab. There's a lot of other great content on the channel, so click that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. If you're an aspiring evil genius, visit Serkworks.com for all your mad science supply needs. And if you want to contact me, hit me up in the comments section or follow me on social media. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.